Support for How in the Hell Did I Get Here comes from the Happy Self-Publisher. Did you know the biggest obstacle writers face is not skill or talent? It's getting started writing. Whether you don't know what to write or have trouble finding the time, the Happy Self-Publisher has a challenge for you. A free 14-day writing challenge, that is. This free challenge meets you where you are and takes you as far as you want to go. You will receive one challenge a day for 14 days with a variety of fun and thought-provoking writing exercises, plus mind-opening writing and creative challenges. Visit thehappyselfpublisher.com to join the free 14-day writing challenge today and get yourself writing now. Well, it's been quite a week, right? We've got quarantines and COVID-19 and working from home, and it almost feels like we're waking up in a different world each and every day. I had planned on talking a little bit about the positive news I've actually seen about COVID-19, and I will do that very soon, but not for this episode. Because today, Wednesday, March 25th, 2020, I woke up to a different world. When I woke up to the news that the man we call Dad, Crazy Larry, or Yosemite Sam, had died at home during the night. He had not been well for a long time, and this wasn't exactly unexpected, but it also wasn't exactly expected either. Ironically, today's show was going to be a continuation of last week's episode, which was called Yosemite Sam's Daughters Don't Take No Guff. We had myself, Carrie, and Jenny on that episode. Our sister Erin had been unable to join us, but she had a few things to add and some corrections to make. So she and I had recorded last Saturday to fill in the gaps and share some more stories about Crazy Larry, as you'll hear today. We ended that call talking about how we could possibly have him record some more of his funny stories for us, and I had planned on calling my mom yesterday to check in and see how they were both doing, with all that's going on now with the COVID-19 virus, and also to talk to her about how we could set him up to record.
We have to capture this before he's gone.
Yeah, I know. He tells good stories, and that's what I want to say about Larry Vanderwalker is very complicated person, obviously a little crazy, maybe a lot crazy, honestly. This just seems like a cautionary tale for all of us right now, and a good reminder to take the time and make the time to call the people you love and care about, and maybe even record those stories you want to hear before it's too late. But back to Crazy Larry. Let's just say he was one of a kind. A relationship with him was as much an endurance test as anything else. He could be beyond charming and funny, and there's no doubt he was a natural storyteller, musician, and entertainer. We grew up listening to him, playing the guitar and singing, and we often sang along. A couple of his favorites were Rye Whiskey and Dang Me. And as idyllic as that sounds, it wasn't always easy, because Larry was a complicated man who put us through our paces in one way, shape, or form. Just like the old saying, when he was good, he was very, very good, and when he was bad, he was terrible. In spite of that and the complications it caused in our relationships with him, we all loved him anyway. He was a character, one of those rare, mad geniuses who struggle with a lot of things and live life very much on their own terms. And I respect that about him, even though I certainly didn't always agree with him. So, in celebration of the man who made all of our lives more interesting and entertaining, and someone I learned my love of stories from, we dedicate this episode to Larry George Vanderwalker. This is Kim A. Floden, and you're listening to How in the Hell Did I Get Here? As usual, this episode includes swear words. Stay with us for more about our dad, also known as Yosemite Sam, and a fun story from Erin's husband Van about his son, Genius Boy number 3. Erin and I got together to correct some details from last week's episode, which leads us to a funny and interesting discussion about the man we called Dad.
So I'm just adding to the story of Yosemite Sam, King of California episode, because the Zeesters got it a little wrong with our
some of the details
with Yosemite Sam. So and I totally can understand this because I have this thing with rocks.
Oh, God, so do I.
And so do you. And I don't think then, well, I can't say that it doesn't fall far from the tree because you're not his biological daughter. But there's something about Larry that he loves gold, and he always has, and he's very, very intelligent in certain ways and very like ingenious. And he came up with a device that extracted gold, like liquid gold, out of sand. So when I say that you got it all wrong, you didn't get it all wrong, but it wasn't dirt. It was buckets of sand, and it came from like Nevada. It came from Las Vegas.
That's still funny, though.
It is funny. Well, that's funny, but he actually got it to work to some degree. But it would.
No, I believe that. He is a crazy genius.
He is. So another thing that he did, and this just needs to be incorporated into some episode, but there is a chiropractor in our town who no longer practices. I think he's retired, but way back when, our dad invented a chiropractic chair that is still used today, like widely used, called the Jensen 3. And that
I did not know this.
No, but even Van's dad knew about it and was talking to me about it recently, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good one. That was a big deal, but I just don't think he had the business like know-how to protect himself.
He's got like an engineering type mind.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, he's like genius level on that kind of shit, I would say, for sure.
Yeah, and then
and you guys do too.
Side, okay, on the flip side of that, because he has this affliction or addiction to rocks like I do, we had like not an easement, we just used it as an easement even though we weren't supposed to. The people that lived right behind us had a driveway that just ran right down the back of at the end of the backyard.
Right, our backyard ended and their backyard started.
Yeah, so the driveway was right in the middle, and we would cut through there all of the time. We did for 45, 50 years.
Get to the other side of the block easily.
Yes, and so Larry, and one of his not so brilliant moments, he also loved turquoise.
Oh yeah,
so gold and turquoise, and he must have walked back through into their driveway, and he was like, holy shit, I struck gold. I mean, no, turquoise. There was turquoise all over in the driveway, and he spent hours picking it up out of the gravel. No, he did. And at the point, I don't know how many days after, but he found out that they had emptied out their fish aquarium of their fish rock. Oh my God. I laughed so hard, and so did he, that I'm surprised we are still alive, because I don't think that I've ever laughed so hard ever.
Okay.
Him laugh that hard at himself was like, it was joyful almost.
Did he ever tell you the story of when him and his buddy ran the car off the cliff in Mexico?
Well, I heard about that story in a very, very delusional way when he was in the hospital, when there was a donkey named Dan. And I'm pretty sure this is the same story, only you got the real one, so let's hear it.
I don't remember everything. I mean, it's like, honestly, I wish he was with it enough to come on and tell some of his stories, because I was thinking about this earlier. I'm like, he is an awesome storyteller. And then they got put in Mexican jail for like, I don't know how long. And they were like, and they both had different stories.
Right.
And one part I do remember, it was a brand new T-Bird, which is a convertible T-Bird. I don't even know where they got the car from.
Was it named Dan?
I don't know. I don't remember hearing about the donkey, but this is the part I remember. So they are like obviously out of their mind. Who the fuck knows? They're young, stupid, and probably drunk, right?
And in Tijuana.
And they decide that for whatever reason they're going to run this brand new T-Bird off a cliff because they just think it's going to be cool. Okay, we can see a few things about our family right here. I'm thinking back to some things people have done in the name of like, oh, that might be cool. Anyway, so they rig it up so it's gonna go off the cliff, but their plan is that they're gonna act like they went down with it and survived. Maybe that was it. They were gonna be like big like heroes for surviving this
Who? There were no video cameras.
Who the fuck knows? Well, okay. So before they run it off the cliff, they take turns like bashing themselves with rocks.
Oh my God.
Beating themselves up.
Him, I think he might have twisted the story up a little to make it sound not so bad. Because, like I said, driving the car off the cliff might be like a whatever for something else that might have happened.
I don't know, but so they beat themselves up and they like are all bloodied and battered. And then they ran it off and they put a rock on the thing and they let it go and it ran off the cliff. Like obviously there was no braking, there was no sign of braking or anything. So immediately they were suspected. Obviously they weren't beat up. Well, he said we were all scabbed up because we beat ourselves up. I know. It's like it was hard to feel sorry for him. Some of the things he got himself into, like when he walked off the ship and basically said, "Fuck you, motherfuckers," with his golf bag.
Oh.
Yeah. He walked off, I think it was in Pearl Harbor.
No.
Because he helped build Pearl Harbor. And something happened. Somebody pissed him off. And
there's more to this story. And there was redemption at the end of it.
Well, right. But he got put in the brig and he thought he was going to be killed.
Right. Because he would not do something that the general or whomever was above him
he didn't agree with it
because it was wrong. He was exonerated just in the last 7 years by the VA.
Oh, that's good because he was dishonorably discharged. But I just love the vision of him with his golf bag walking off that ship because he was a good-looking guy, in his navy whites. Fuck you! I'm going golfing, and he didn't come back.
Oh, God.
He truly was a character, and we will miss him. R.I.P. Dad. You sure had one hell of a run. Stay with us through the break for a story from our brother-in-law about how one of his sons achieves Genius Boy status. Do you wish you had someone you could tell your secrets to? Would you like to be able to share your secret in a safe, supportive environment? Are you ready to take a brave step forward and release your secret anonymously to me at Tell Your Secret, a bold new podcast and service where you can share your secret and also hear other people's secrets on the podcast of the same name? If your answer was yes to any of these questions, I would absolutely love to chat. Reach out to Kim, the coloring book coach, at tellmeyoursecret.club. And now, on to Van and his story.
So I'll tell you the story of Genius Boy number 3. So background. So I have 4 children, 3 boys, then a girl. I often refer to my boys as Genius Boy number 1, 2, and 3. Boy number 1 actually is borderline genius, so that one is legit. Boys number 2 and 3 earn their genius titles through other means. I might tell the story of Genius Boy number 2 later, but we'll start with Genius Boy number 3. So Genius Boy number 3. So he earned his title through history class during his senior year. I was tracking his grades, kind of through the course of the semester, and it was, he's doing reasonably well. He's A-, B+ ish. And and then gets to the end of the semester, and then one day it comes up and it's F. I mean, he's like flat out failed. And so I contact the teacher and I ask, like, what exactly happened? Because I was following the grades along, doing the not really the helicopter parent thing, but tracking his grades as they're progressing through the semester. And he says, well, I have to tell you a little bit about Justin. He concerned that about his attitude. It doesn't seem like he has proper respect for authority. And I said, well, it doesn't really sound like Justin, but do you have can you give me some examples? And like, let me just show you something here, and I'll send you an email. Yeah. So what I came to find out was that he had a history assignment that was due, and they had to write this paper and had to submit it through Google Docs or something like that, some online site, and he decided to send it in bullshit assignment .doc, send.
Nice.
I love this kid for doing that.
Bullshit assignment. That's what he called it.
Yeah, bullshit assignment. ...
Okay. Yeah.
And
I'm with you so far.
then the teacher says, Justin, don't really think that's really appropriate unless you'd like to explain, why you named it that. And so he responds, so this assignment didn't teach me anything, didn't prepare me for the test, has no relevance in my life, was basically a waste of my time. So therefore,
Holy shit.
I have concluded that this assignment is bullshit.
Okay. Well, that's a fair enough answer.
Yeah, I know, right? Except that, it's one thing to think that. It's quite another to say it.
True.
Quite another yet to write it in an email and send it to the teacher, which then can be sent to said parent as evidence of why Justin failed the class.
Right.
So, genius boy number 3. Given that that we got the situation here, I asked the teacher, like, what can we do? And can he retake the test? Is that no? He can take the class again next year. Actually, take this. He must use a junior. He was a junior when this happened, so I don't want to use a senior. So he can take the class again next year, or he can take summer class. Yeah, basically take the equivalent of the class, just take it during the summer. So I'm thinking, excellent. This is one of these situations. I don't have to come down hard on him. Life will be the teacher. Tell Justin his options. It's like, sorry there, buddy. Looks like you're going to summer school, Mr. Smarty Pants.
Yeah, Mr. Smart Assy Pants.
Smart Assy Pants, yeah. So starting on, so he gets his, school ends and, he gets his week off, and then summer school kicks in and he shows up on a Monday, and his routine is supposed to be something like show up 3 days a week and he'll be done in, 8 weeks or something like that. So it's something that takes the majority of the summer. But it is something that you kind of go at your own pace. The expectation is it's a couple hours a day, 3 times a week, over the course of 8 weeks. So he goes in on day 1, goes in on day 2, day 3, he stays home. And I'm like, hey, genius boy, like, don't you want to keep going? Kind of in the routine, may as well just plow through it and get it done. And he says, Dad, I'm done. I'm like, you're done with your coursework for the week? He's like, no, Dad, I'm done for the semester. I'm like, so hang on. You're telling me that you just progressed through the equivalent of an entire semester of high school history in 2 days? It's like, yeah. So I'm like, you're done. Yeah.
What does that say for high school history if it can be taught in 2 days? Wasting a whole bunch of time.
No doubt.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so the excellent plan of letting life be the teacher only really taught him that he, in fact, did call out a bullshit assignment and beat the system. So in some respects, Genius Boy 3 did, in fact, earn his title.
He did.
Wow. I think this is why I've been hearing from a few people who are doing homeschooling with their kids, and they're like, what the fuck? We're done in 10 minutes.
Right.
Thank you so much to our sponsor, the Happy Self Publisher. If you've ever dreamed of writing a book, be sure to join the free 14-day writing challenge and get started now. Just visit thehappyselfpublisher.com and sign up today. Meet you back here next week for more How in the Hell Did I Get Here stories. Until then, pay attention, my friends. You just never know when you might find yourself saying,
holy shit, I struck gold. Turquoise.
How in the hell did I get here? Hey, again, as a healer, I feel like it's more important now than ever that we find reasons to laugh. Laughter is healing and joy is good medicine. So if you can please keep sharing this podcast, just tell one friend. Like I said, right now is a great time to focus on what brings you joy. And if we're one of those things, please pass it on. Thank you. And thank you, Silent Partner, for our theme song, 7th Floor Tango, and our ad music, Blue Skies. We found them on YouTube's Creator Library. Find the links in our show notes. How in the Hell Did I Get Here is a production of the Coloring Book Coach and is written, produced, and hosted by Kim A. Floden with editing help from Carrie Floden.